Love thy neighbour as thyself. Yes, a lot of us know that popular saying, love thy neighbour as thyself. If we think of that statement very well, we notice that it doesn't just say, love thy neighbour, full stop. It says we should put the same measure of love that we have for our neighbour to the same measure of love that we have for ourselves. Now, many a times we think we are loving ourselves, and I had to search high and low to know whether I was indeed loving myself. And I'm talking to you out there today that we should start loving ourselves before loving others. Does that seem selfish to you? Hi, I'm Toyin Okunuga. I am the author of Hush to Raw. I am the CEO of Hush to Raw, and I am your absolute self-realization mindset expert. Yes, self-realization. I say self-realization because I don't give to you anything that you don't already have based on my own personal experience. You already have everything there, but you're not going there to get it. So I self-realize you. So yes, today I'm talking about love starting with you. Yeah, love starts with you. So in the past, as I've mentioned in many of my videos, I had quite a lot of childhood traumatic events, just like most of us have had. But I pray that if you are out there and are listening and you haven't had any heartache, pain or loss, I pray that you don't have as many as I have had, but also I pray that you have minimal events that are traumatic. And that's the reason why I release these videos, just so that we don't reinvent the wheel of pain. Yeah, because people I've heard, they'll say, oh, if you're going to say you're helping me, don't say. And I think that's not quite a statement that I would like to be accustomed with, because many of my people that I aspire to, it's because they have shared their story and I have gained loads of golden nuggets. And the reason I'm able to stand here today confidently is because I've learned so much and I had so many ha-ha moments, and I've been able to say, wow, Toyin, go for you. Go for you. And that is what loving me. And when I say loving starts with you, some people might say that is so vain. That means you're going to look at the mirror and say, oh, I'm pretty today. You can say that too. In fact, I say that too. There's nothing vain about it. But where I am going is not so much about you saying how pretty you are. I believe we are all made perfect by the Creator. So we are all perfect the way we are made. But it's not even about that. It's so much deeper. In fact, I didn't even know anything about these when I was growing up. And why? Because I was always seeking for people to love me. Why? Because I thought I would be, I thought people would not like me if I didn't do things to please them. So I was a people's pleaser. And some people that know me might think, sometimes, maybe not, but when it comes to people pleasing, it comes in an array of ways. And what do I mean by that? I could say to someone, oh yeah, I'll do that for you, just because I want them to like me. But I don't really, or haven't got the capacity to do that thing, but I would say I will do it. And what happens next? Next, I become resentful. So this is what I mean by loving you first. So the first reason I'll say, or the first thing you should do to learn how to start loving yourself first, is to set healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries is crucial. It's crucial at work. It's crucial, especially with your loved ones, your family members, your children. It's crucial at work, and it's absolutely vital when you're with friends. So all around our journey, it's absolutely crucial that we set healthy boundaries. And you might be thinking, what is healthy boundaries? So an example of a healthy boundary is if someone comes to you and says, Toyin, you're absolutely, useless at that. And because you still want to be friends with them, you just laugh it off and say, no, I get what you mean. I'm not useless, but no. You say, hold on. And you set the boundary by letting them know that that type of statement is not acceptable. Yeah. So you put your foot down and you say a statement that allows them to know that they do not have the right to talk to you like that. Now, there's some people who are insistent, manipulative, and controlling, who would want to push your boundaries and will continue. In that situation, you will give them chances, like first warning, second warning, third warning. I'm afraid it's a strike off. If they are merely a friend, or if they're someone that an associate where you can start pulling yourself back, if it's a work associate, and you don't get involved too much in conversing with them. That's how I do it. Now, if it's a family member, you let them know that that is not acceptable. And again, people might not want to respect that. And again, you will let them know that this is how you want to deal with the situation, and let them know communicatively. If they're not still going by what is a healthy boundary, I myself, what I do is I will stop to a level of talking in certain areas, and they will soon realize that, they're not getting that conversation from you. So it's like zipping it, not talking too much. So healthy boundaries, number one. And number two is saying no and meaning no. So in the Bible, it says, you can't be hot or cold, like the lukewarm. You can't be lukewarm. You're either hot or cold. So you can't be hot and cold, lukewarm. It's in the Bible there. And growing up, I was always lukewarm. I'd always say, I'm all right with this one, I'm all right with that one. And I'll have this, what is known as common enemy intimacy. I'll say that again. So when you have a common enemy intimacy, and what that means is, like, if someone, like a friend, is talking in a bad way about someone, because you want that person to still be your friend, you will agree and say, oh yeah, that person, oh gosh, I can't stand that person, because you want to have, the only thing that's common between you is that enemy that you both hate. Now, that is a wrong way to love yourself, because you have to be true to who you are and say, okay, if that's your opinion about that person, that's not mine. And leave that person not to like you, then that means that you weren't really meant to be friends in the first place. So don't go with the common enemy to be intimate with a person. If someone's child gets hurt and that person's father or mother is not someone who you like, you should still have empathy for that child. If someone's child who you do like, something happens, you should still have empathy. So it's not having a common enemy. And we have that today, just because we want to fit in. So no, saying no and sticking to your no. Say, no, that's not my opinion. I don't have that common enemy intimacy, because that means you're not being true to yourself, and that means you're not loving yourself. So when I started this conversation, people might think, oh, here she goes, she's going to talk about makeup and everything. No, it's like boundaries. It's like not being wanting to fit in. That's you loving yourself. Another one, I've just got my notes here to see. Yeah. So making unnecessary compromises. So it's almost like saying something that will harm you, but to please others. Remember that saying, love thy neighbor as thyself? No, you don't compromise so that thing, eventually would be a negative to you. Say, if someone says, oh, pick my child up, but you know that you have to be somewhere, you say, I'm so sorry, I can't do that today. I've got this way to go. Don't compromise just because you want to be liked. So that's another one. So it's just a quick one today, just to say that if loving yourself is being comfortable with who you are, and it means that you are confident with how you are, and it doesn't matter what people say, as long as you are being a person of integrity, you are loving the person the way that you love yourself, then that is fine. Because as I said, growing up, because I had so many traumatic events, I thought I had to like everyone and put myself last. But then at the end, I would be resentful. And then the manifestation of that would be anger, would be unkindness towards people that had shown me in a way that I allowed them. So that there's that saying that I've also now began to start to believe, is that we show people how to treat us. And that, I believe, is true. So if you want to be loved by others, love yourself first by showing them how you love yourself, by setting healthy boundaries, saying no, not having that common enemy intimacy just because you want to be liked. No, stand your ground and say, oh, if that's your opinion of that person, that's not mine. And to be quite honest, gossiping and everything, let's just rule it out. So those are my tips today, is loving yourself. And yeah, you wake up in the morning, look at the mirror and say, today, I love you, Toyin. Today, I love you. And I forgive you for what you did yesterday. And I commit to you that today we are going to get it better. We're going to get it right. And my commitment to you is that from now on, I'm going to love you more and more. Because just as hurting people hurt people, loving people love people. So that is it for me today. Love yourself, and then you will not want to hurt anyone else because you've set the boundaries, you are comfortable with yourself, you love yourself, now you can love your neighbor. Thank you very much, guys. And what I would say is get your hush to roll so you can see my journey from trauma to triumph, to victory, in the way that I now stand in my truth and I'm comfortable the way I am. And I do not, I'm still learning, because it is a battle, because let's face it, people who have always been to you somehow and you've accepted would still battle and resist that change that you have made for yourself. But you've got to stand strong and say, this is me, accept me or leave me. But always stand in your truth and love who you are. Because as I said, loving people love others. Get your hush to roll. Don't forget to subscribe, press that notification bell. And thank you very much for everyone who's been watching. Udi Uduakakbabio, thank you. I love you, sis. Thank you, Maria. And anyone else who has been commenting, please continue to comment. Press that like button. Just let's have a dialogue, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you, guys. Remember, your inner child, it has a voice. Do not suppress it for anyone just to be liked. No, let it roar. Thanks for watching. I love you. Bye.